So I know exactly what happened to my brain. I got traumatized all the way over here in hypercreative land, which is where your brain goes when you're in trouble. I think specifically when you're in trouble and there's no solution in your environment, you get access to super creative land, which is pretty impressive. The way that I look at it now is it's kind of like a fail-safe program. Like if you're in real danger, you actually get access to a database of more information. You also get special skills. And that concept, the concept that heavily traumatized people get special skills is replicated so many times in art. I'm not even going to go through them. And it makes sense. If there's no solution for you in your environment, you have to make up a new one. That's when you really need your creative skills. Anyways, I have energetic ties to my two, I guess, previous handlers, is what I call them. I can tell when they're talking about me, and they don't have to be anywhere close to me. I also get Kundalini goosebumps up my back, and it usually means that I'm right. Also, if I start yawning in public, like if I yawn over and over and over again, it's usually because there's somebody toxic in my environment. And that actually happened to me last week. Anyways, I was intuitive from my childhood before I got into this relationship. And I didn't even know. Like, I think that people don't really talk that much about how their brain functions. I found out in group therapy by basically going, you can't tell he's mad. I was picking up information from my environment before I went into this madness, but I will say I felt it grow through the madness. I know the moment that it started to go off into, hey, this is weird land. And it was specifically because of trauma. My panic attacks started to happen before there was no way I could logically know that my ex was coming. Anyways, I now manage my energy like viciously, which means I actually don't really go out in public that often. And I know why it was so exhausting. I push and pull emotion wise. And I think for people that are like that, I rest a lot, right? I take tons of breaks. Anyways, I think I get a divine masculine soon. I think he's in my energy. It's like I can feel him, but I don't know. I don't know where it's coming from. But just understand this. I look put together, but my life is a mess. I had to run at this full speed while balls were falling and being whipped at me. Like I just ignored it all just so I could get this done. And honestly, there's no other way that I could do it. My brain's in a state of hyper focus that I know it's like I'm not driving it. It's not like I'm not driving my own bus. I'm not in like an unsafe state. It's like the greatest amount of hyper focus I've ever felt in my life. It has to get done. Anyways, I think that I know that I'm supposed to make a really big impact here. So I don't really care. Anyways, I could use the help. So if you're coming, come. When I show you how it's all connected, you will understand why I had to run so hard. Anyways, threats like blame have a big time component to it. The threat is a negative thing that's to occur in the future. This is by far the best indicator of the package of abuse. Like some of the items within this list already sit in a legal gray area. But while they're a great indicator of abuse, this is also the section of the report in which there's the greatest variance in like severity scale. Like, is this the same as this? No, it's not. But again, they are counted the same within this report. Also, like blame, the drill down categorization within the threat section was at the subject level. And similar to blame, the categories of interest are also those in which the threat or what is going to occur is fuzzy or unclear. So these categories are insinuated, in which the abuser is just something bad will happen. And insinuated abuse, which means something bad will happen and you will be hurt by it. I'll give you a couple examples of insinuated, and the first one is actually a cross category, so I'll point that out at this point. And you refuse to discuss, so I will take control, no problem. That's a blame / threat. You refuse is blaming, so I will take control is the threat. You've been warned 4 times now. Take a long look in the mirror and know who you are and what you're doing. You can't legally do that either. Don't start a war. Insinuated abuse is where it starts to get really nasty. So, a couple examples of that. Fine, it's gonna get fucking ugly. You're a monster and it will come out. I don't want to get fucking ugly, so please stop. You don't think I didn't do my research before telling you this? How bad you want it to get. Anyways, that's threats. Okay? So that's blame, demean, and threat. The trifecta. Like, memorize it. That's all you need. I'm going to go through the vehicles next because they're of interest, but in terms of implementation on a broad scale to control emotional abuse, that trifecta is all you need. 3 numbers. A judge is going to look at 20 pieces of paper before he starts getting frustrated because it's going to be so consistent across the board. And what comes out of this is actually more beautiful. Because as soon as you put even the system in place, toxic people will start to look at what they're saying. Wait, toxic people start to look at what they're saying? I know, fantasy land, right?